Hello everyone, welcome to Manika IES. So we are back again with our daily current affair analysis. Today is 16th of February and the Hindu newspaper today was full of very interesting articles. So these are the topics that we'll be discussing today. The very first topic that we'll be discussing is India's green energy revolution. Okay, so for the first time, we have surpassed the non-fossil energy has surpassed the percentage of fossil-based energy. So that is why it's a big achievement. Then you have LVM-M6 and Bluebird Block 2 missile will satellite. We'll discuss what it is. These two topics are extremely important for your prelims. All right. Then you have India UAE ties. So there has been a strategic transformation between the ties of India and UAE. That is why this topic is important and more so for your mains. Okay. Now, and the most debated topic, India USA interim trade deal. So this is extremely important to understand the nuances of the trade deal, its repercussions, its impact. So this is important for both prelims as well as for mains. All right. Then is your AI summit. So for the first time, the AI summit is being held in India, and today on 16th of February it has started. So that is why this is extremely important topic. One, because it's happening in India. Two, because AI is all over the place. It's a new tech, so you might get questions in prelims as well as mains. And the most important topic you can consider when it comes to SNT, specifically for prelims also. And so we'll discuss the basic details of the summit as of now today, and we'll discuss the it in length and breadth after the completion of the summit so that the outcomes are also there. All right. So now let's start with the very first topic, which is your India green energy revolution. So basically, what has happened here is in the previous year till this January, April 25 to January 31, 2026, India has added about 52,000 megawatt of power. All right. And out of which 34 megawatt is coming only from solar energy. Okay, so that is 66% of the new power added in this year from 25 April to January 26. 66% is your solar energy, and more so, the amount of energy that has been added is maximum that has ever been added in a year. So previously, in the previous year was the maximum, which was about 34,000 megawatt. This year it's about 52,000 megawatt. So this is a great achievement. All right. And more so, there's a 11% increase. So these facts can be important for your prelims. And in your mains answer writing on renewable energy, you can write these points. All right. Now let's break down the total installed capacity that India has. All right. See, total installed capacity that India has, 50% is coming for 50.5% is coming from renewable energy. All right. 52.1% total is non-fossil, and out of which 1.6 is your nuclear energy, right? Then the remaining is coming from 48% is coming from your fossil fuels, which is your coal based energy. So in order to move from towards a cleaner energy, we are trying to reduce this to zero. All right. Now it is your duty to tell me that what are India's target of reducing the coal based energy under COP26. So please tell me what are the India's target of reducing the share of non-renewable energy under COP26. Okay, so this was the important topic that is there in today's newspaper, right? So please make sure that you take down these points because these database, if not exact number, an approximate database will be helpful in your mains answer writing as well as your prelims MCQs. All right, now let's move to the next topic, which is your LVM-M6. So why this is in news? Because launch vehicle Mach 3, which is your GSLV Mach 3, the payload fairing of this particular launch vehicle of India has been found near a island in Maldives on Lamu Atoll near Lake Kunahando. ठीक है. So this can be a map based question also that they might ask. All right, so you must be knowing that where the lake is located. It is located in Maldives. All right, so that is one point. Second point is what is GSLV Mark 3, and third is what is payload fairing. So we'll discuss this in detail one by one. So basically now this is the structure of GSLV Mark 3. Okay, what is it? Is a heaviest launch vehicle that India has right now, the latest version, right? Now what does this M6 depict? It says mission. M stand for mission. That means it was the sixth flight of launch vehicle GSLV Mark 3. Okay, now, if you see, this is the structure of GSLV. Here, these three are your fuels. This is your liquid propellant stage, this is your solid propellant stage, and this is your cryogenic engine stage. So, when you fly the rocket, these three, on the basis of their requirement, they get detached once the fuel is being used by one, and then this is left, which is your payload. Now, this is the encapsulation that you can see. This opens up and fall into the ocean, and satellite is being sent to the desired orbit. In this case it was sent to lower earth orbit. Okay, so this is the entire procedure, and these are the payload fairing that generally fall into Indian Ocean because you are taking it up from Sriharikota in Andhra Pradesh, which is your launch pad. All right, but after a 51 days of travel, they were found in this particular lake in Maldives. All right, so this was about your structure of Mach 3. So please remember there are three stages of fuel: liquid, solid, and cryogenic engine is also there. All right, and this is your payload fairing. Now let's see the payload it was carrying. Okay, so it was basically carrying payload, commercial payload. All right, which was a largest ever commercial communication satellite deployed over lower Earth orbit. So it was carrying a commercial payload, and which was from an US based company, a private company, and the weight was 3100 kg. All right. And another important thing was this was sent within 52 days of the previous flight of Mach 3. This also showcased the India's potential that India can send two back-to-back heavier missions within the span of less than 2 months. So this is another interesting point in terms of ISRO's achievements. Whenever there's a question on ISRO achievement, you can mention these 2 points: the largest commercial satellite ever in LEO, and then second point is consecutive two flights within less than a span of 2 months. So this is another thing. Now let's see the payload capacity of GSLV is 8,000 kg. All right. So this time it was 6,100 kgs heaviest payload, but it can take up to 8,000 kgs. That is the built capacity of GSLV Mark 3. All right. So this was important points when it comes to GSLV Mark 3 payload fairing, and please remember them for your prelims examination more so. Now let's move to the next topic, which is your India ties. So basically, what has happened was in 2024, India and UAE signed a bilateral treaty in which they expected to increase their trade to $100 billion by 26. However, they were able to achieve the target in 2025 itself. So now they both of the countries have decided that they will take the goal to $200 $200 billion by 2032. All right, so these are the area of operations of the two countries. So whenever you get a question on India UAE ties, you can directly mention these points. And when it comes to prelims also, there are two important points: the current ongoing AIA summit that has started today, in that UAE is a lead partner in building human centric AI. Okay, so this is an important point. Second, Bharat Mart. What is it? Is a wholesale distribution hub, right? कि wholesale product के exports में it will help. It will be operational by 2026. Then this also became an important topic for your prelims, in which UPSC can directly ask you a question that okay fine, भारत मार्ट है तो वो इंडिया और कौन से कंट्री की अलाइनमेंट में है, ठीक है? Then you have to answer it is UAE. All right. For Indian MSME to export to Africa, West Asia, and Eurasia. And what are your targets of exports? Africa के अंदर, West Asia, and Eurasia. So these two are the important point that you have to remember from this article for your prelims. Rest everything is important for you mains as well. All right. इंडस्ट्रियल मूव्स कौन सी है? इलेक्ट्रिक बसेस हैं. अशोक लेलैंड moved its EV buses production from UK to UAE. All right. Then green chemicals, Reliance and other important companies, they are investing 2 billion in low carbon chemicals in Abu Dhabi. So that is also important. Then banking. The NBD majority stake in RBL Bank is largest ever FDI in Indian banking history. तो RBL Bank के अंदर NBD's की investment is the highest in investment in banking sector by any FDI. So this is another important point. Again, diaspora. Lot of people are traveling to Dubai for their trips. So tourism and then aviation sector. These are important areas of cooperation, and that is why they are planning to extend their bilateral investment treaty. So this was important in terms of India UAE ties. Now let's move to the next and the most important topic and the most controversial topic also, which is your India US trade deal. देखो, India and USA has signed an interim trade deal. First of all, it is an interim trade deal. Okay, it is an so the negotiation of this deal was going on from last 1 year, and finally they have been able to achieve a particular place of settlement. However, there is a large hue and cry because of the terms of the treaty. So we'll discuss them one by one. So what is the important issue? See, we have seen how Donald Trump is operating in USA. It is kind of one-way dominating strategies that is applying, and it is very much focusing towards America's first policy and not towards the earlier role that USA used to play of a global leader. No, it is more so protectionist policies हैं Trump की. So you have the terms are protectionist policies and America first policies. So we have already discussed Venezuela के अंदर क्या किया था. Then it has also signed a treaty with Bangladesh. So and a lot of tariffs were also imposed on products from India, products from China, in order to safeguard the interest of USA. But at the same time, they were very harsh and disguised in form of creating a global order, whereas it was more so America's first policy. All right. So let's see what are the proposals of the trade deal. So the very first thing is about tariff. So हुआ क्या है पिछले कुछ टाइम के अंदर यूएसए ने penalize करने के लिए टैरिफ लगाए फर्स्ट 25% देन टैरिफ ऑफ another 25% taking it collectively to 50% by saying कि you have to stop your imports from Russia because Russia Ukraine war की वजह से but the actual disguised reason was it wanted USA wants कि उसके domestic जो oil supply है उसको वो boost कर पाए. That is why they want what happened in Venezuela we have discussed. उस वहां पे भी उसके एक्ट का रीजन यही था दैट दे वांट टू हैव ऑयल कंट्रोल और उसको एक्सपोर्ट्स को प्रमोट करने के लिए. So it is collectively in terms of that on disguised in the name of Russia Ukraine war. Okay. So that is why 50% इम्पोर्ट के ऊपर टैरिफ इम्पोज किया यूएसए ने. ओके इंडिया से इम्पोर्ट के ऊपर जिसकी वजह से इंडिया के एक्सपोर्ट हर्ट हुए बिकॉज इंडियाज एक्सपोर्ट कुड नॉट गो टू नाउ यूएसए मार्केट. So India was trying to fetch a trade deal where which is it is beneficial for Indian exporters so that they can send their products all across USA because there is huge demand. Another thing, there is diaspora of in USA you have huge diaspora of India's also, so that is why the demand is high of Indian products. And plus India always had a trade surplus with USA. मतलब हमारा एक्सपोर्ट्स इम्पोर्ट से ज़्यादा है. मतलब जितना प्रोडक्ट हम यूएसए से इम्पोर्ट करते हैं उससे ज़्यादा हम एक्सपोर्ट करते हैं. तो यूएसए इज वन ऑफ ओनली कंट्रीज जहाँ पे इंडिया का ट्रेड सरप्लस है. सो व्हाट एंड इन अगर हम यूएसए के पर्सपेक्टिव से देखें तो उनका ट्रेड डेफिसिट है. तो उनका एजेंडा क्या है? अपना ट्रेड सरप्लस करने का. So these are the primary agenda of USA when they are trying to strike a deal. And what is our primary agenda? That our sectors could export because उन्होंने तो 50% tariff अब लगा दिया. Now we have to take it to a place where we can also export. ठीक है. तो अभी इसके अंदर they have agreed to come to a tariff of 80%. ठीक है. अब ट्रेड वॉर से पहले कितना टैरिफ था? 2.5%. सो ऑल्दो इट इज एन इंक्रीज फ्रॉम दिस बट जितना चल रहा था उससे तो कम पे ही आ गया. तो द गवर्नमेंट इज सेइंग it will promote exports from MSME because MSME are now equipped enough to send their export to USA. ठीक है, बट द क्रिटिकल एनालिस्ट्स आर सेइंग कि पहले तो 2.5% था ना, तो हमें तो वहां जाना चाहिए था. वाई वी हैव स्ट्राइक अ डील एट 18% which is a loss. Having said that, it was 50% before that. So somehow they have been able to crack a middle path in this thing. However, there is a catch where there is a snapback sovereignty clause that has been put up by USA. It says कि on the premise हम इसको reduce कर रहे हैं 18% पे कि इंडिया रशिया से अपना oil import को कम करेगा, and if they see India is again trying to resume its oil ties with Russia, so this clause says the 25% penalty of tariff will be imposed on Indian imports. Now this is very absurd and very bizarre thing that they have done. It is taking away our sovereignty of dealing with taking our decisions of our imports and exports, but at the same time money rules. So that is why this is happening, because somehow we wanted to strike a middle path so that we can access the US market. As of now तो इससे पहले the US markets were blocked for Indian exports because of 50% penalty of tariffs. Having said that, this is still a better provision and it's an interim deal, so we'll see what happens in the final deal. As of now, it stands at this thing. One thing is this. Second thing is there is a problem which with respect to ambiguity of the अभी तक clarity नहीं है, बहुत ambiguous है इस clause with respect to agriculture and cereal cropping. So basically India का कहना है they have been able to safeguard the cereals exports from India कि उसके ऊपर tariff इतना नहीं लगेगा, लेकिन यूएसए का ये बोलना है कि उन दे विल बी एबल टू एक्सपोर्ट अ लॉट ऑफ सीरियल्स और इकोनॉमी विल रीच टू रूरल यूएसए. ठीक है, सो दैट मीन्स उनका कहना है दे विल बी एबल टू एक्सपोर्ट मच टू इंडियन मार्केट. सो यहाँ पे फार्मर्स का इशू आ रहा है बिकॉज इंडियन फार्मर्स आर रिलेटिवली poorer farmers as compared to USA. So India has always been protecting the interest of farmers. It is still saying, the government is still saying that we are protecting the interest of farmers, and but the clause that has been mentioned in the treaty is not clear. That is why there's a problem. Okay, so we shall see how this further fold up, but the problem that they are citing is that if the import duty on the agriculture produce of cereals of USA have been reduced in India, which they are saying that India is trying in have been reduced to zero in India, then a lot of USA agriculture market product will get flooded in to India. That is the problem, and it will harm the domestic farmers. So that is the issue that has been highlighted all over. Second thing is the treaty also said that India has accepted that it will try to reduce the tariff on USA import to India to 0%, which is again a bizarre thing because हमारे तो exports के ऊपर 18% tariff है और आप बोल रहे हो कि आपके exports के ऊपर इंडिया में 0% tariff होगा. So this quite look like a one-sided deal to be much in favor of USA and less in favor of India. But again, we'll see how this fold up in the final deal. All right. So this is second point. Third point is it also says it gives a backdoor entry to genetically modified crops. So India has always been an advocate of not letting GM crops coming to India, okay, because of a lot of environmental and farmer issues. So, but this is saying a lot of experts are saying it will allow a backdoor entry to of GM crops to India. So this is the third problem. All right. Another thing is a $500 billion बाय अमेरिकन प्लेज. सो यहाँ पे भी कंट्रोवर्सीज हैं क्योंकि इंडिया की जो स्टेटमेंट आई थी या जब ये इंटरिम ट्रेड डील साइन हुई थी, जो उसकी जो ट्रीटी उसका जो वर्डिंग था वो ये था, इंडिया विल ट्राई टू बाय मतलब टेक ट्रेड लाइक इंडिया विल ट्राई टू एड $500 billion का इम्पोर्ट्स फ्रॉम यूएसए. ठीक है, but USA has said in their one of their press conferences that India has committed to buy $500 billion products from USA, which they later retracted back that it is intended not committed, but at the same time that come up as $100 billion per year in next 5 years, taking it to $500 billion in next 5 years, right? So now this $100 billion is 15 to 20% of India's own national budget. So that also became an issue कि कितना हम उस मतलब the it again is not in favor of India. So these are the issue that has been there in trade deal that has been signed. But at the same time, we'll have to see how it turn out. So let's quickly recall what are the four issues that we have discussed. One is your tariff that has been reduced to now 18%, and government is saying it will export MSME का बढ़ जाएगा यहाँ से. Second problem is of agriculture, cereals and farmers and backdoor entry to GM crops. That means it will have negative impact on agriculture and farmers of India. Then it also says oil import. That means USA से हमें oil import करना पड़ेगा mandatory और रशिया से कट डाउन करना पड़ेगा. If you have remember a few days back we have already discussed that India has, though not coming it taking it to zero, but had quite reduced its oil import from Russia. And if they don't do so, there is a snapback clause which will again impose 25% of punitive tariff in India if India try to buy oil from Russia. Third, fourth, and the more controversial issue is 500 billion by American promise. ठीक है, so these are the important issues that are there, and we shall see how they fold up in the upcoming times. As of now, there is no clarity on these two aspects. Okay, now let's move to the next topic, which is your AI summit. So basically, AI summit is being held for the first time in India, and it's for the first time global South ko we are representing. All right, it's being held from 16th to 20th February in Bharat Mandapam, जहाँ पे G20 की मीट हुई थी लास्ट टाइम दिल्ली के अंदर. So this itself is a question for your prelims. Okay, now let's see. This is the fourth AI summit. We'll quickly see what were the previous three summit. And the first one was in 23 AI Safety Summit. ये यूके के अंदर हुई थी. इनॉग्रल समिट थी फोकस ऑन फ्रंटियर एआई रिस्क. देन वी केम टू 2024. ये साउथ कोरिया में हुई थी. एंड इनोवेशन, इंक्लूसिविटी और सेफ्टी को, ये भी सेफ्टी को थी, ये एआई रिस्क के ऊपर थी. देन 25 के अंदर एआई एक्शन समिट थी पेरिस फ्रांस में, विथ टर्निंग कमिटमेंट इनटू प्रैक्टिकल इंटरनेशनल एक्शंस. ओके, देन दिस इज 26th एआई समिट. 26 के अंदर एआई इम्पैक्ट समिट है. ठीक है, सो सेफ्टी सियोल एक्शन एंड इम्पैक्ट समिट न्यू दिल्ली के अंदर. एंड इट इज ग्लोबल साउथ पर्सपेक्टिव. People, planet, and progress are the three pillars of this summit. Now, what are these three pillars? We shall see now. So, what are these three: people, planet, and progress? The three thematic chakras. ठीक है. देखो अभी तक की जो summit थी, they were more focusing on safety of AI. But this year, it is more about how do you intake the three pillar of which are going to be impacted with AI. One is your people and second is your planet, and how do you progress in the same field. ठीक है, तो फोकस क्या है ह्यूमन सेंट्रिक एआई के ऊपर, जिसमें वी हैव ऑलरेडी डिस्कस दैट यूए इज पार्टनरिंग विद अस. ठीक है, इंक्लूडिंग इन यूनिवर्सल एजुकेशन एंड हेल्थ केयर. Then you have planet, it focusing on sustainable human computing. See, the data centers and the AI, it uses a lot of energy and a lot of water. So it will be stressing our resources of energy and water. That is why your focus should be on sustainable computing. Then is your progress, focusing on economic growth. ठीक है. So basically, there is a problem which everybody says that AI will take away a lot of jobs, but at the same time, AI will give a lot of job also. Okay, the nature and the skilling will be different because it is a rapidly evolving world. So you need your people to be extremely upskill and extremely fast in getting that skill. Because अगर बहुत जैसे बहुत जिन लोगों ने recent education नहीं किया but still a part of working population and in the jobs in computing sector, they'll face a lot of issue with upcoming of AI. They'll be fired, and we have seen in the recent past a lot of firing has happened. So that is why you want progress which is more sustainable in nature. ठीक है, specifically for developing nations that were left behind in internet revolution. ठीक है. Now Sundar Pichai, Sam Altman, which is founder of OpenAI, and Brad Smith of Microsoft, they'll be heading sessions, and they have promised to invest 100 billion investment in India. ठीक है, $100 billion. So there'll all be discussion that India should give 21-year tax holiday for data centers. So these will be the point of discussions. So we'll discuss as and when it will progress, and we'll see what the outcomes of AI Summit after its completion. So till then, if you have any doubt, any problem, please reach out to us. Thank you. Have a nice day.